Hello, I'm EG, and this is Crocheting with EG. And in this video, I found a really nice big tub of yarn at Goodwill. And the price sticker on it was actually good by itself, but then I got up to the register, and then I'd reached my, in my store, if you spend $100, you get a $5 credit, and so $5 was taken off, so it was even a bigger deal than it was. So I got a really nice tub of yarn. And then I got a couple other random things at Goodwill, and then no yarn from Hobby Lobby, or there is Hobby Lobby yarn in this tub, which is funny. So I did get some Hobby Lobby yarn, whatever. But I guess it was cheaper than at the actual Hobby Lobby in the clearance section. But whatever. And then I got a couple things at Hobby Lobby in their clearance section, wasn't yarn. And then just a couple random things. Shelf here. I don't even know why I brought the damn thing in here. It's stupid, like so. And I got a shelf. Like, you know, like lifted up like an idiot. Like, who cares what the shelf looks like or whatever. But I did get a couple shelves and everything. But anyway, I'll start with yarn. Or no, what I want to start with is I've been watching some videos lately, trying to catch up after Christmas, because like when I was going through Christmas, I sort of neglected watching the people I watch on YouTube and stuff, and because I was just like so involved in all the stuff for Christmas, and I've been trying to catch up on all the videos and stuff, and I've noticed this trend, or I mean, I guess it's like something that a lot of people on YouTube talk about, is when they buy yarn, there just seems to be a lot of people lately that I'm watching that are kind of like, they're not apologizing, but it sort of feels like they have this hesitation of like where they don't want to come off like they're enjoying the fact that they just bought a bunch of yarn. Sort of like, oh, I broke my yarn buying ban, and I bought some yarn. I don't really know what I'm going to do with it, but like sort of that kind of thing, where they're sort of hesitant about enjoying it or whatever. And I mean, okay, like I know if you have a problem with buying yarn, then okay, then I can see if you would have some kind of hesitation about being excited about it. Like if you have like a clinical hoarding problem or whatever, and you're just like overwhelmed with yarn. Let's say you're like an episode of Hoarders, or there's like boxes everywhere and bags everywhere, and it's, you know, your house is becoming a maze, or it's becoming like overwhelming or stressful or whatever. Then okay, that's a problem. Or if you're getting in financial debt or something, and because you can't stop yourself from buying yarn, okay, then that's a serious problem. And of course you have to, you know, look at yourself and try to figure out how to work through that. And yeah, it would be a problem if you're buying yarn and you have those kind of situations and stuff. But if you don't, if it's not a stressful thing, and you're still enjoying buying yarn and all that, and like in spite of like I buy yarn all the time, and I don't really know what I'm going to use it for yet, but I'll eventually use it. I may have to live to be, you know, 389, but whatever. I'm going to enjoy this yarn, and so I don't really know what to do with some of this yarn right now. But and also I'm not the only one that crochets. My mom crochets, and I'm getting my niece into crochet and all that kind of stuff. And if it ever did get overwhelming, like, oh my God, I have so much yarn, I don't know what to do with it, I could always, like, you know, give it away or sell it or both, or like whatever. You know, there's always a way to deal with it. But right now it's like it's sort of manageable for me, and I know that it's not manageable for some people and stuff. And I'm not talking to those people in this video, but it's just kind of bothering me. Like one video after another, I just sort of feel this hesitation, like oh God, I don't know how to say this, but I bought yarn, sort of thing. Like the TV reference in my head is like Lucy on When I Love Lucy. Like the way they're talking about it is almost like, you know, Lucy saying, oh Ethel, I bought a new hat and a new dress, and I don't know how to tell Ricky about it, and you know he's gonna come home and want me to explain, like what, you know what I'm saying? We're not like housewives in the 50s. Like, why do I mean, I know I'm like a new person in the crochet community here on YouTube and stuff, and I'm not really immersed in, like, I don't have like social media. I'm not like on Insta or whatever you call it now. I know it used to be Instagram, but then I keep hearing people say Insta. I'm not on all these like social media sites or whatever, and all these forums and all these places. I'm just like on YouTube, and I don't really, like, I don't even have a smartphone, so I'm not involved in, like, you know, the crochet community culture other than like my comment section and stuff. So I don't really know like the kind of pressure that some people either put on themselves, or, you know, get from the community and stuff to be, you know, responsible yarn purchasers. I'm a yarn purchaser. To be responsible yarn consumers and stuff, and to I don't know. I'm not really involved and like immersed in that kind of culture and stuff. I just like I buy the yarn and I have fun, and I'm just like filming my ridiculous ass on YouTube and stuff, putting out videos. So I don't really know what that's like, and so I just buy the yarn and I enjoy it and everything. But it's just kind of bothering me that, like, I keep seeing this stuff over and over again, and, like, people doing all these stash busters because, you know, they have all this yarn, and they just have to get rid of it. They have to do something with it. They have to get... can you imagine if I did a stash busting video? It would be like, welcome to the longest video ever produced on YouTube. It's going to be, like, you know, 489 days long. And can you imagine a stash busting video, you know, with my stash the way it is? It would be insane. And... Or like, you know, I'm putting myself on a yarn buying ban. My Hobby Lobby would, you know, close down because, you know, they wouldn't have enough business because I go in there every frickin' day looking for yarn. I would, you know, tank my local economy because I put myself on a yarn buying ban or whatever. Or like if I did buy yarn, like, and these people that sort of come off like they're almost apologizing for buying yarn. Can you imagine if I apologized every single time I bought yarn? I'd have to change the name of my channel. It'd be like, hello, I'm EG, and this is Apologies with EG. And I'm going to be talking about a couple of Skeins yarn. But let me, first off, in this episode's apology, I'd like to apologize for, like, you know what I'm saying? It would just be nothing but apologies all the time. I don't know. I mean, I'm fortunate enough that it's not a problem for me, and it's still, like, fun as hell and everything. And I mean, I have a couple of bags of hauls I need to put away or whatever. But other than that, it's like, it's really manageable for me at this point. I know I have an excessive amount of yarn, but, like, it's, you know, it's nice and put away and organized and stuff, and it's manageable for me. It may not be manageable for me to get words out of my frickin' mouth, my stumbling ass, but whatever. The yarn buying is manageable for me, and it's still really fun and enjoyable and stuff. And so, and I know that it's not for, you know, some people. And if you're one of those people, then of course you have to, you know, control your yarn buying and all that kind of stuff, and, you know, I understand that. But if you're not, you know, putting yourself in financial ruin or, you know, climbing over things like an episode of Hoarders or whatever, then and you don't have some kind of, like, clinical hoarding problem or whatever, then I just don't understand why so many people have this kind of hesitation. Because, like, when we're buying the yarn, none of us are like, oh, I see a bunch of yarn, it's like, oh, I don't know if I should buy this, but I guess when we see yarn, when we buy yarn, it's exciting as hell. So, like, why, when you get on camera, are we like, so, I'm including myself, even though I'm not like, you know, like this, but why are, because I don't want to say, like, why are you, I'm not like, I don't want to feel like anybody, I'm calling anybody out, because really, I'm only doing this part of this video because I want people to enjoy the yarn that they buy. I mean, unless they have some kind of serious issue with it. If you're just, you know, having fun buying yarn, and even if you don't know what to do with it yet, I just want you to have fun with it, because it's so much fun when I buy yarn and stuff, and it kind of bothers me that it's, you know, that it's bothering people. When, you know, it's our money, it's your money, and so, and we are, like, the idea is like, oh, I didn't need this. Like, maybe I've said that a couple times in my videos. I know I didn't need the yarn, but, you know, but when you think about it, nobody really needs yarn, unless we live in, like, some third world country and you have to buy yarn to, like, make clothing or something. I mean, most of us are fortunate enough to live in a society where we don't need yarn, like, to you know, make clothing or whatever. Most of us can say to ourselves that, like, we don't even need one skein. Like, we don't really need one skein of yarn. And so you could say that about every single skein we buy, because, you know, we don't really, nobody needs to have yarn to crochet with and stuff, and nobody needs to make things, or it's just, we do it because it's a hobby, because it's fun, and you know, the hunt for the yarn is part of that, and I've seen people say that, like, collecting yarn is sort of a, sometimes they sort of compartmentalize it, where, you know, the collecting of yarn is almost like a hobby separate from actually using and crocheting with it. And in some cases that it's true. But still, we don't even need the yarn to crochet with. It's just like a fun hobby. So it's just, I want everybody to, because I love yarn so much, and it's sort of, I know I have OCD, and I've obsessively, I've become obsessed with buying yarn and crocheting with it and stuff, but it's just, it's added so much fun to my life, and I hope that if you're watching my videos, like if you have a problem, I hope I'm not like triggering you and making you buy yarn that you don't want to buy. What I want you to get out of my videos is like a shared love of like the hobby of buying and using yarn to make things with it. And that's what I want you to get out of it. I don't want me to I don't want my videos to make anyone who does have a serious problem feel like they I bought it because you were showing it off, and I didn't really want to buy it. Like, I only want you to buy yarn because you want to buy it, and I want us all to have fun, just talking about yarn, or like, I found a deal, or, you said that you went to Hobby Lobby, and I checked my remnant section, they had some yarn in there, I couldn't believe it, and I got a deal on some yarn or whatever, or I'm making this too, and or you making this, it reminded me, like, I'm making something with some yarn too, or I use that same kind of yarn, but I'm making this with mine. Like, I love the community aspect of all this, but I hate that there's this kind of, I don't know, like, 50s wife attitude that people have, like they're almost afraid to enjoy the buying of the yarn and stuff. I just want everybody to enjoy our shared love of yarn and stuff. And so because like the world and society and everything is just, it can be like unbelievably just immeasurably miserable sometimes, and like the depression and stuff. It's a serious problem in society and in the world and stuff. There's so much to get down about, and it's so overwhelming for some people out there that they check out. But we are still here in spite of all the shit in the world. It doesn't matter, like, whatever. We're adults here. If a cuss word pops out, don't panic or whatever. Don't, oh God, don't freak out. Just be glad that I don't speak in my videos the way I speak in my everyday life, because it'd be F-bomb every other word. But you know what I'm saying. I'm talking about something serious here, or sort of serious. It's about like yarn and stuff. But I'm saying that, like, the way society is, like all the politics and politicians and all the social issues and freaking health issues. God, it's frustrating. Or like just like everyday worries about finances, or all this went up in the grocery store, or the economy, or like what about this situation? Like, life is stressful enough as it is. Life as a whole can be very stressful, just like the stresses of everyday life and stuff. And so and sometimes it gets so overwhelming that people do check out. But in spite of all that, we're still here. We're still enjoying life, and we're still going on, and we're still like living our lives and stuff. And in spite of like so many things in the world that can get us down and take away our happiness and stuff, but we're finding ways to have fun and like just to get through the day, get through life. And if like yarn is a part of that, then like just enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I want people to enjoy it, because life can be so miserable sometimes, but this should not cause any kind of stress. And of course, if it is something that is causing you stress, or causing you to go into debt when you don't want to, and you don't have the money to buy the yarn, then that's a serious issue that you should try to deal with. But if it's not an issue for you, and you're in the process of like buying yarn or whatever, or you see yarn and you buy it and you're excited, I don't want it to get to the point where you buy it and then later on, oh, I regretted buying it, or even sort of coming off that way, or trying to feel like you have to justify it or whatever, or it's your money, you bought it, and if it's not a problem for you, then just enjoy it. And so that's what I just wanted to say this at the beginning of the video, because I buy a lot of yarn, but like I'm never going to come on here and be like, okay, everybody, I have something to show you. I brought some. Like, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to apologize for buying yarn. I'm just not. And if it ever did get to the situation where I have like so much that I'm like falling over things or whatever, I have to drag out my cane to make sure that I have some extra stability when I'm like, you know, walking over the, like, you know what I'm saying? If it ever got to that point, then of course it would be something serious, and I would have to look at myself and, you know, maybe you have enough yarn. You know, I'd be like on the floor debating, like, should I buy yarn today? I was like, no, I'm like on the floor. I could barely get up because I just tripped over a bunch of bags and stuff. Like, if it ever got to that point, of course, you know, I would deal with it. But like right now, it's manageable. And there's, you know, there's actually room on my shelves and stuff to put yarn. Of course, it's going to be filled up with the hauls that I've gotten recently. But you know what I'm saying. I love yarn so much. And I want you to enjoy it, and I want you to enjoy your life. I want you to keep going and find ways to be happy in your life and stuff, because there are so many things in the world that can get us down, and I don't want anybody to be unhappy. I don't want anybody to be stressed or to feel bad about it. And if like buying some freaking yarn like makes you happy and it's not a problem, then just enjoy it. And just, whether people like make you feel guilty for, you know, spending your own hard-earned money on yarn, even if it's yarn that you don't need, because, you know, it was just a fun thing that you did. You came across, like when I came across this tub in Goodwill, it was fun as hell. I mean, it was fun as hell seeing it in Goodwill and my mom being there and then her seeing it too, and then fun, you know, buying it, like going through the line of the store and getting excited about like, oh, getting it home and like getting to dig through it and see what kind of yarn was in it, and then like getting extra excited when, you know, $5 was knocked off at the register, thinking, oh wow, this is a really good deal, and then getting it home and like going through it and stuff. And I mean, the whole process was just like fun as hell, and like getting it home and like you getting to you know, interact with you through the comments, you know, after I film a ridiculous YouTube video, and then putting it away. And like, you know, even if I don't crochet with it right away, there's, you know, plenty of yarn in here, and I haven't crocheted with all of it yet, but like, you know, I'm gonna, you know, force myself to live, you know, extra long just to, you know, get through it. But it's also really fun just coming in here and just looking at my yarn and just like allowing myself time to, like, you know, dream about, like, that would make something really pretty sometime. And oh, that one right there, I bet the perfect project for that one would be like, just like, even if I'm not crocheting, even if I'm just like coming in here staring at my wall like my niece did when she came over here and saw my yarn wall for the first time, and was like literally laying on my floor in awe, like just like on that, you know, Uber Luxe rug on the floor, just like staring up at my wall in awe of like all this yarn. I mean, it's just, it's amazing to look at. It's just inspirational. It causes you your mind to just, my mind races anyway, but like your imagination to just race. And I'm looking at all this yarn and like every single thing, all the color and stuff. It's just, it's really inspirational and stuff. I'm just thinking, like, those two colors would look really good together, and I need to find something to make with those two. And oh, I like that one right there. Like, just getting it for that reason alone, just to have something to like look at and like this visual stimulation to like make your creativity start, you know, your mind racing and stuff, and your creativity flow, and like giving you all these wonderful ideas and all these dreams. Yeah, I may not follow through with every single one of my dreams. I have so many projects in my life that I would need 10 lifetimes to, you know, get to all of them. But it's just like the experience of like, it keeps me going. It keeps me going, knowing that I have all this stuff to get to, and all of these, you know, dreams of like, you know, fulfilling and stuff, and all these projects to you know, look forward to. And so, yeah, some of this yarn I may not get to in my third lifetime, but whatever. But it gives me hope that, you know, I'll live long enough to use it all, and so I don't know. I love this whole experience and stuff, and it's never going to affect me in that way where I feel like it's like pressure from the outside to like, oh, you need to stop buying yarn or that kind of stuff. I've never been like influenced that way as far as like social media goes, because I'm just not involved in all of that. I'm not immersed in that kind of culture and stuff, and so I don't really know, you know, how hard it might be for, you know, how that pressure is from the outside, from you know, wherever you are, the different platforms, TikTok, or like I don't know, I can't even name that. I know MySpace, and that doesn't exist, and Facebook. And I wasn't even on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it's called now. Or like I've never really been, you know, on social media and stuff, so I don't really know. I sort of grew up past that. Like my generation was like MySpace. It was sort of before. Like that was sort of the peak for me. I eventually got on Facebook and stuff, but like, you know, MySpace was like my peak, and so like I never really evolved enough, like, because I'm a Luddite. I never really evolved evolved enough to get like a smartphone and get involved in all these apps and stuff, and then like it's still odd to me to like text people, and so I never really got involved in like this whole YouTube experience is like my first, other than like MySpace or like Facebook, it is like my first, you know, dipping my toes in the water of like, you know, putting myself out there on like, you know, the internet, in like social media kind of way. I know that YouTube isn't a social media site, but you know what I'm saying. This is my first time like, you know, getting out there and like really interacting with a lot of people and in the comments and stuff. And so, but I don't really, I'm not like a big enough YouTuber. Maybe if I got a couple thousand more subscribers and all kinds of like, you know, comments all the time, which I'm never gonna get. Can you imagine? You know, my stuttering ass and all my filler words and stuff, and like just buying yarn and talking about a bunch of random stuff in my variegated videos. Yeah, I'm gonna become a huge YouTube yarn influencer, or like whatever the hell it's called. Like I don't even know what that's called. I'm never gonna be that on YouTube, and so and I'm perfectly fine with where I am, and I love this whole experience, and I want to continue to love this experience, and I want to continue to enjoy the yarn and stuff, and I do, and it just kind of bothers me that now that I'm connecting with all these people on YouTube, and I'm starting to like watch more, because I'd watch a bunch of like just random videos on YouTube, and now I'm like, you know, sort of watching all these videos about, you know, yarn and yarn hauls and what I crocheted and all these new stitches and like all tutorials, and like I'm sort of, you know, putting myself in the, you know, crochet community on YouTube and stuff, and so maybe it was always like this, but it just kind of bothering me that I'm starting to notice like just how many people are. They're obviously enjoying yarn because they're making content about it, and they're, you know, obviously enjoying it because they're buying it and, you know, crocheting with it. But it's bothering me that they're kind of there's this hesitation, whether it's like sort of a public facade, or because they're sort of, they don't want to be shamed about buying the yarn, or that maybe if they do feel guilty about it, then and it's not because of like some outside influence, and, you know, then they obviously do have something that they need to deal with. But like if they enjoy the yarn and buying the yarn when they first buy it, and it's really exciting, like I don't want it to turn into the second the camera turns on, it's like, oh, I feel so guilty about buying this yarn, or like I just want people to enjoy their lives, and because if buying freaking yarn, it keeps you going and makes you happy and stuff and gives you stuff to look forward to, then just don't apologize for it. Don't feel bad about it. Don't be like Lucy, you know, trying to hide a dress or whatever, or hide a freaking couch in the, you know, the kitchen or whatever from Ricky when he comes home. You know what I'm saying? Just enjoy yarn and enjoy your life and stuff, because, you know, you never know. Like I've lost so many people in my life. My immediate family is just like a couple people left, because I've lost my dad and my sister and like all of my grandparents and some aunts and uncles, and there's been a lot of death in my family and stuff, and there are, you know, a small number of us left and everything, and luckily we're really close and stuff, but we know how precious life is, and how hard life can be sometimes. And so when you find something that, you know, gives you enjoyment and pleasure and stuff, and keeps you going, and makes you dream for the future, and gives you inspiration for the future and stuff, don't feel bad about it, please, because I don't want anybody to be unhappy, because it would be so easy to dwell on like everything that's wrong in society, in the world, in your just everyday life, but I just want you, and I want everybody to just try to find a way to, like, you know, make it through the day, make it through the hour, make it through make it through your life. I mean, even if it's just something ridiculous like, you know, buying yarn, if that is something that makes you happy and you know, gives you stuff to look forward to and gets you through the day, then just buy it and enjoy it, and just try to enjoy your life, and that's all I'm saying here. Like this rambly intro to this video, whatever. And so I'll get to the yarn finally, and a couple of random things. But so I did find this yarn, and it was just fun as hell. Like because it's really rare to find like a really good deal on yarn in Goodwill. I found some good deals in Goodwill, but like, you know how Goodwill is. You walk through there and talk about prices. Like the prices of things in there are just utterly ridiculous. But I walked in there and they had this big, you know, plastic tub. Like the price alone for what was worth it, because I got a nice tub out of it. Of course, it doesn't have a freaking lid. It was one of those things where they, you know, put that tape on top of it. Like I get that they don't want to, like, find something to put over a plastic bin or whatever, whatever that doesn't have a lid, and they just use tape. But like, do that for like if you're filling it with like a bunch of knickknacks or like some plates or stuff like that. Don't do that with frickin' yarn. Like, I don't understand the mentality of like, they look at this bin and it's like filled with yarn, this like, delicate fiber stuff, and they think, oh, we'll put some really sticky tape all over the top of it, so whenever the person that buys it tries to open it, they have to rip it off the frickin' fiber. Luckily, all the yarn was fine, but you know what I'm saying? It's a pain in the ass to have to pull it all off, because and if it gets stuck to the labels, it starts to rip the labels. Like, save that the packing tape method or whatever for stuff that it's not going to get stuck to like delicate fibers like yarn or whatever. Like, it should be like a no-brainer. It's stupid and ridiculous. Because I've seen things where it's like a bunch of like plates and cups, like a plate set and cup set, or some old china, or like sometimes they're like putting a bunch of toys or even stuffed animals. Is kind of stupid to do with that, because the stuffed animals look messed up enough as it is in all those bags and all like this, or all smashed or whatever, and then they pull it out, and then if there was tape on it, then their hair is going to be like this, like mine when I get up in the morning, or in the humidity when I look like Monica in Barbados. They look messed up anyway, and so when you put like tape on it and have to like rip it off their faces and stuff, and their hair's all over the place, it's so stupid. And like, but save it for like things that it's not going to ruin, things that it's not going to get really stuck to or whatever, like just like knickknacks, or like I was saying before I went off on 8 tangents. Like sometimes they'll take these plastic boxes and they'll fill them with like a bunch of old toys and stuff. I hate that they're starting to do that. Or like sometimes they just throw a bunch of random stuff into a bag, like a Ziploc bag that doesn't make any sense with each other. They're just like, oh, we have like 8 things. Instead of like pricing it individually, we'll just like stick it in a Ziploc bag, or we'll stick it in this plastic box and we'll just put some tape over it, and there goes, and then there you go. It's kind of frustrating. But like, don't do that with yarn. I mean, they wouldn't do that with the clothes. They would know that the tape would get stuck to the clothes. But they do that with yarn, and I don't know. It's just frustrating. But anyway, so I got this bin, and so it's a pretty nice huge bin, and the bin was $12.99, which is crazy, because I've bought some yarn in there, and it's been a good deal. But I've bought yarn in there in like one of those big comforter bags, and it was priced at like maybe $30, which is a lot, but it's a good deal if you break it down as far as like how many skeins are in it. But this, for $13, this was a hell of a deal. And then to get up to the register and $5 was knocked off. That's $7.99. This was $8. I mean, I got a couple other random things, and so like it wasn't like they took $5 off of this, but like in my head, deal math. In my head, that $5 went to just taking off of the price of this. So I got this for $8, all this yarn. And it's not like it's a bunch of like old, yarn. I mean, they look like they're, full skeins, and or like some of them don't have labels and stuff, but they're really nice yarns. But whatever. And so let me get to the yarn finally. But one of these is just like this clump of yarn. And I know what this one is, because I've gotten one of these before. It's from Michaels, and I got this for that ridiculous cowl that I still need to ask my niece if she wants that. That cowl that I made, that was sort of inspired by Naughty Autistic Granny's cowls, but it turned out looking like something from Clueless or Legally Blonde. It's just like a ridiculous cowl with all these like pastel beads hanging off and like a fur around the collar. It looks utterly ridiculous. But this was from Michaels, and Loops and Threads, whatever the hell it is. Like one of this fur yarn. And I use that for the outside, or the collar of that cowl. And so the whole lot of it. This was expensive. I think these are like regular $7.99. Of course, this isn't a whole skein, but there's a lot of this here. And so really nice yarn. And so I got that one. And then they had a cone of yarn. It feels. It's one of those like peaches and cream cones. This is brand new. This is crazy that this was in there. It feels a little like Crafter Secret cotton kind of feel, though. It's not like a really soft cotton, and I may try to use this, or the fact that this is brand new, I may end up like saving this for the yard sale or whatever, because I don't know. It just feels a little like a little stiff, like that stiff cotton. I'm sure this is really nice. I've seen people use it on YouTube and stuff, but like, and the fact that this is a 1 pound cone that was in here, I bet the price of this regular price is worth the whole amount that I paid for this bin. But I mean, it is. I've never had like a cone of yarn before, but it's really cool and everything. And like even the colors are not really colors I'm too big of a fan of. Kind of like pastel colors, like pink and blue, and a little bit of green and white in there. And but it feels a little on the Crafter's Secret cotton kind of feeling side. But I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I haven't crocheted with it or anything. Maybe it won't be as splitty. Because like the very end of it isn't very splitty. So I've seen acrylic that's splittier than that. So I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a chance. I'm not really sure yet. But I don't know. I may end up selling this or something. But I'm not really sure. But those are really nice. I couldn't believe that that was in there. A whole cone. And then it's just like a random ball of pink yarn. It feels like a regular medium 4. It feels a little like Red Heart. I'm starting to like have like a sensory feeling of like what yarn is, like or what brand the yarn is. Sometimes, I mean sometimes I'm wrong, but I'm just assuming. But it's a little on the scratchy side just because of not scratchy, not the worst kind of scratchy Red Heart that I've felt, but like it's a little on the scratchy side, so it might be some Red Heart yarn. But it's just like a pretty pink color though. I've used some scratchy Red Heart yarn. I know I can wash it after I make it because I washed that the teddy bear sweater that I made for my teddy bear, and it was like really scratchy to work with. But then after I washed it, it's nice and soft and stuff. So but this isn't as scratchy as that other yarn was, and so I could probably work with this and just make sure that I make something that is wearable with it. It's just like a regular pin ball. God, if I have a story that long about every single one of these skeins, this video is going to be like, even longer than it already is. Sorry about that. My long-winded ass, but whatever. And then I have all the other stuff to get to. Anyway, so pink ball, done. All right, and then this one, this is really soft. I wish I knew what brand this was. It feels a little thinner, like maybe a 3 weight or something, but this is huge. And it's so soft. It's like this dark blue. Of course, I don't know who made it, but it's a really nice. Like, how big was this skein originally? I don't know how big that would have been. I mean, I guess it would be like a skein, but it'd be like a really big bulging skein. So I don't know. This is a lot of yarn, and so it's a really nice dark blue. But man, that's the only thing about when you buy yarn secondhand like that in a bin or a bag or whatever, where some of the yarn is kind of crappy, but then some of it can be like really nice, and then you're thinking, God, I wish I knew what brand this was, or where I could get some more of it, but you're never going to know where it came from, and so I don't know, but it's really nice though. And then this is a pink. This is a light pink. It's wrapped around like an old Red Heart label, and it doesn't matter the colorway, or the colorway does. Who cares? God, baby pink. That's what it is. This is one of the freaking labels. See how it ripped? It wasn't ripped like that when we first got it. It ripped like that because that was where the tape was. I was like, God, it's getting so pissed off. But whatever. So it's just like this, tiny little bit of this light pink from Red Heart, and then this one that I'd already picked up and showed the camera. This is really nice, soft. It's kind of like a lavender purple skein, and really just squishy and soft, and it looks like a medium 4-weight. But of course, I don't know what brand this is, but that's a really pretty color. It's not really like a pastel purple. It's more of like an icy pastel purple. That's why I like that one so much. And this one is kind of like a lime green color. It's a really interesting yarn, like the way it's twisted. I don't know what kind of yarn this is, but the twist in it is more noticeable than like a regular strain of acrylic yarn. I don't know if this is some kind of like special yarn, or maybe the twist in this is just more noticeable in this yarn, but it's really a pretty yarn, really pretty color too, and really soft and squishy. I couldn't believe how nice and soft and squishy this yarn was. Oh, and then a full skein of the loops and threads faux fur. Wait. This is the same color. I thought it was like a different one, but it is that same color. So now I have the specs to tell you, instead of just saying, oh, it's that fur one from Michael's, whatever the hell it's called. It's called. God, it took me 30 seconds to find the name of it, and you know what the colorway name is? Pink. Stupid. So I did get another whole skein of that. Like I know that the price of this skein alone, or like even the cone, is worth the price of the bin by itself. I mean, just like this is a brand new skein, and then a whole bunch of this. Like just that yarn alone, it was worth the price to get this. And then this one is a mainstay, so that's a Walmart brand, just like a red. I'm sure, yeah, just like red. Some of it's gone, obviously, but a really nice red skein. of the mainstay. Their yarn is actually really soft, the mainstays yarn. And then I love this yarn. So I did get some Hobby Lobby yarn. And then the colorway is pink. And this is like it has an old price. So the old price was regular $2.79. This is before they printed the price on the actual ball band, is that what it's called? I'm starting to learn the terminology with I heard that term ball band, and I was thinking, is that what that is called, like the label? I never heard that before. So I said the label, the thing is wrapped around it. But they usually print the price on the thing now, and if there's a sticker on it with a price, and then it's usually a clearance sticker. But this is like when they used to just put a sticker on it with the price. And so this was used to be regular $2.79. So they really went up whenever they made this, because now these are regular $4.99. Of course, I get it for $1.24 because I go out there looking for clearance yarn, but whatever. Even $2.79 is too much for me. Did they have like the 30%? I'm sorry. God, I'm such a ridiculous person. And even more ridiculous that I made myself laugh like an idiot. God, but whatever. And so $2.79. Did they always have like the 30% off week kind of thing back then, or did they do that after they raised prices down the road? Because 30% off of this would have been probably around the clearance price. I don't know. Or no, it actually would have been even more than that. But anyway, can you imagine the clearance price? 75% off this. God. Did they used to have like 75% off clearance prices? 75% off $2.79. That would have been a crazy price for this, whatever. Now I'm like trying to, like, dreaming of like the being into yarn that long ago, and like coming across 75% off clearance yarn. But whatever, this is actually really soft for being old yarn, and it's actually, it feels more significant than some of their yarns that they have nowadays. So I don't know. I know that yarn changes over the years, but like this actually feels a little bit more significant than the ones that they have now. But anyway, it's really nice, pretty pink color. And then another pink, Red Heart Super Saver in the color Baby Pink. Is this that same ball? Because it feels the same. No, it's a different one. I have all kinds of different pink colors. But it's a nice soft pink, or baby pink. It looks like a full skein of Red Heart yarn. And then a Red Heart Super Saver in the color Dusty Gray. It is sort of like a dusty gray color. It's a little scratchy, but not like the worst that I've felt from Red Heart. And then another Red Heart Super Saver. It feels like a little bit's gone out of this. In the color light blue. I was about to say bluebell because it kind of reminds me of that bluebell colored yarn. But it's just called light blue. It's like a light blue skein. And then a Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo, and the color is Aran, and so A-R-A-N. So it's all the Aran color. I've never heard that word before. I've heard that as far as like the weight of yarn, but Aran, like the colorways that are called Aran are usually like an ivory-ish color. That's the best way to describe it. It's kind of like an ivory. This is a huge skein. God, this thing was probably like $10, a regular price. And then another. I love this yarn. Oh, they went up 10 cents because this, now it's getting higher. It went from $2.79 to $2.89, so they went up, 10 cents on the price. Now when they go up on the price, it's usually like a quarter or 50 cents or whatever, sometimes $1, whatever. And then, so this is called mid green, and I feel like I had that. It's a really nice, it's like a dark sage green, like an olivey kind of sage green, and it's really nice and soft. And another one that feels like extra soft and significant, and so. I wish all of their yarn felt like this. It almost feels like there's more in this, or maybe it's just like the weight of the yarn is just slightly more substantial. But I'm sure that I'm not gonna. I'm too lazy to even like bend around and like pull one out of my wall. But I don't know about the actual weight of it, or like the length, if these are different than the other ones. But I just feel like it feels like a little bit more substantial than the ones that they have now, like the actual weight of the strand or whatever. But got that one. And then this one, I don't know what brand this is, but it's like a pretty purple. This feels a little. It kind of reminds you of the Yarn Bee Soft Secret kind of thing. It's a little shiny, a little slick, and it's really thin. It's probably like a 3-weight yarn, but it feels like one of those, maybe one of those Karen Simply Soft. Maybe that's what this is. I'm not really sure. But it's a really pretty purple color. It's just a little thin, and it's nice and shiny and everything. And then this one is another. I love this yarn. What's the price on that? $2.79. Oh, this one was before they went up 10 cents. So this one was $2.79. And the colorway is ivory, so like an ivory color. And again, see how like you can tell just by the way it puckers out of the ball band or whatever you call it, that how much more significant these the yarn is back then. and it's extra soft. Let me pull one out, for God's sake. I probably have an ivory somewhere in this room, but see, this one is this is a brand new skein, and see how the yarn is, but then see how different the yarn is in this one, and some may be gone from this. I'm not really sure, but see how much more substantial the yarn is. Let me see the yardage, because this is 355 yards, and this says 355 yards, but the ounces are the same. This one actually says 199 grams, and this says 198. But yet, look how different it is. Look how much more substantial this yarn is. So I don't know. I wish their yarn was like this, the way it was. But I mean, I love their yarn. God damn, no, I do love their yarn. Whether it's like this or like this, but God, this is really nice and significant and substantial and extra. It's kind of like. It has that extra, like I've said, how sometimes Hobby Lobby's yarn will have skeins where most of it is kind of like this, you know, nice and substantial, and a little bit more matte finish kind of thing. I know it's ridiculous to say it that way, but sometimes they'll have a skein, and if you know this if you buy any of their yarn. But sometimes you'll pick up a skein and it'll be extra like floppy and kind of. It'll be extra soft and squishy, but it'll be kind of floppy and feel a little bit on the thin side. This feels like that yarn, but it's that yarn is extra soft or whatever. But I mean, it is like on the thin side. This feels like that yarn, how nice and squishy it is, but yet it's not thin like the yarn is sometimes. It's like extra substantial, and so it's really nice. Maybe their yarn used to be better than it is now. Not that I'm complaining about it. I can't complain about it, the price I get for all this yarn, but I just wish that their yarn was more like this, because this was really nice. Especially the price, $2.79 regular price. God, I need to figure out this 75% off clearance price I would have gotten for this, you know, if I had gotten that brand new. It would have been less than $1, because the cotton skeins are usually, when they're marked down 75% off, they're marked down to 99 cents, and their regular price $3.99. So 75% off $2.79. These would have been like less than $1. Of course, it was, you know, back then, and you know the way inflation is, $1 back then is probably, you know, the different than what it would be now. But still, I could just, you know, dream and imagine like coming across this, you know, back then 75% off, and thinking, wow, I got a whole skein for less than $1, and it's brand new at Hobby Lobby, whatever. See, I don't even need to look at the yarn and dream about like all the things that I can make with it. I can look at the yarn and sit here and like have all kinds of like dreams about, like, you know, what if I would have known about yarn a long time ago and was into, you know, crochet and stuff, and knew that a Hobby Lobby, and we had a Hobby Lobby, I don't think we had one, you know, way back then, and had a Hobby Lobby, and they had like 75% off clearance sales, and I could get a whole skein like this for, you know, less than $1. That would have been crazy. I would have more yarn in this room than I have now. And then it might have gotten to the point where it was a big problem, and would have been, you know, stepping over it, and, you know, or whatever, like an episode of Hoarders. I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. I would have an episode of Hoarders, because I would have had like an entire house full of yarn, whatever. And so this is a Red Heart. This is like a little scrap wrapped around the ball band, or the label. And Red Heart Super Saver. It's a really pretty, like, kind of tweed looking yarn. I don't think I've ever seen a Red Heart tweed like this. They must not make this anymore. And then this is the colorway Black Fleck, F-L-E-C-K. Really nice. It reminds me of that yarn that I got at Joann, that was the Lion brand. This is really, do they not make this anymore? It's like this black with all these colored flecks in it, like a sort of a tweedish yarn. This is really pretty. But I don't think I've ever seen a Red Heart like this, and so this must be an old yarn. And then just a regular, it kind of reminds me of that Icy Pastel Purple, but it's like a cream color, because it's the same kind of shape. I don't know what brand this is, but it's the same kind of feel and same kind of shape, so it probably is the same brand as that one. And so there's that one. And then another, I love this yarn, and the color is Periwinkle. I've gotten some of that Periwinkle before. It's kind of like a light purple, almost like a bluish light purple. That's the best way to describe that Periwinkle. And this is one where they actually had printed the price on the label itself, so $4.99, and it wasn't clearance. Like, holy crap! It's gonna be funny, like going through my stash, and like all the regular price yarns, are, like without clearance stickers on it, are just gonna be ones that were actually cheaper than that, but ones that I just ended up with from like hauls from Goodwill or whatever. That I didn't actually pay full price for, but you know, somebody else did, and then it ended up at Goodwill. And so there's that one. God, It looks like a hoarder situation. I'm like, you know, like, and the next skein is, so I have it piled up here, but whatever. You know what I'm saying. And then this is a huge, like one of those big skeins, Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo, and the color Amethyst, a really vibrant purple. I love it. It comes off a little bluish purple on this camera, like a really vibrant purple. Like this is the kind of purple I love. When I talk about vibrant purple, this is the kind of purple that I'm talking about, because there are some purples that are a little dull, but this is like just really just vibrant purple. This is a little scratchy though, but you know, the kind of typical Red Heart scratchy yarn, but it's perfectly nice and usable and stuff. But it's just a little bit scratchy, like Red Heart yarn can be. And then there's 3 more, and one of these wool ease, and like I was, when I saw that one of them was woolies, I was thinking, oh, this is going to be scratchy. In spite of how gorgeous this color is, I was sort of reluctant to even touch it, because like I've seen the woolies. It's from Lion Brand. I've seen the woolies in my Michaels, and like every single one I've ever touched, I don't like the feel of the wool. I think it's 100% wool. I'm not really sure, but I don't really buy this because I'm just not crazy about the texture of it. No, it's 80% acrylic and 20% wool, but I just don't like the feeling of that wool and like the woolies in my Michaels. But then when I pulled this out of this bin, I thought, wow, this is really soft. Like, why? I mean, it's a little scratchier than like a like this, but you know what I'm saying. It's not as scratchy as the woolies in my Michaels. And like when I got this home and I was, you know, going through it and stuff, and like the next day I went out and I actually went into Michael's, and because I bought this and I was thinking, well, this is really nice. What am I like complaining about the woolies for? When I went into my Michael's, you know, to check to see if they had anything new, I walked through there and I touched their woolies because I thought maybe I'm like remembering wrong. Maybe it's actually a sort of a nice yarn. But all those woolies, they were kind of scratchy, and this is not. It doesn't feel like that. So I don't know. Maybe because this is older, it's like you know, from a different dial, obviously, and maybe because it's older, it's just like nice and soft. But I could totally see myself working with this, even though I never bought any of that woolies in Michael's just because of how it felt. And so, I don't know, maybe the yarn changed. Maybe like I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby. Maybe yarn just changes over the years. I don't know how old this skein is, but it's really nice. I mean, just like slightly scratchy, but like some of the Red Heart yarn that's 100% acrylic is scratchier than this. So, I don't know, this is really nice. And the color is called Deep Lagoon. Just a really gorgeous teal shade, and it has all these other color streaks in it, and one of it's kind of like a coppery color that's kind of streaked in, and a little bit of a blue in there too. But the main color is that really gorgeous teal color, and so but it's really nice. I can't believe it. I was shocked at that because I thought, well, I know that I may end up selling the cone of that cotton. But I was thinking, oh, and I'll probably have to put the woolies with that too, because I just won't like the feel of it. But this is really nice. So that was a really, and the fact that it's like a teal color too, it was like a really pleasant surprise. You know, down at the bottom of this bin. And then this one, it doesn't have a label, but it feels like it might be a Hobby Lobby skein. I can't remember because they do. Like sometimes their yarns are so indistinguishable, but I think they have one that's similar to this. It has all these different shades of blue, and then some white, and then some black speckles in it. It just feels like a Hobby Lobby yarn, but I'd find it, but it would take me like 30 minutes to look on my wall. Somebody's probably watched this and saying, "Hey, up in the corner right there, it's right there behind you, idiot." But whatever, it's a really pretty skein. I'm just not really sure if it's a Hobby Lobby brand, but I feel like it is. And then this last one, this is really nice. It kind of reminds me of that. Ice Yarn's Picasso Rainbow, like the structure of the yarn, the way it's kind of shiny and stuff, and it's just like this little cake. And of course it doesn't have a label, so I don't know where this came from, but it's a really gorgeous purple, really nice and kind of shiny and stuff. And it's real subtle, but like there's different shades of purple. There's like a more of a pinkish purple, and then like a bluish purple down in there. Hopefully you can see how the different shades. There's like a pinkish sort of purple there, and then like here is like the bluish kind of shade of purple. Really nice. Do you know? Does this look familiar to you? Like what brand is this? Because this is really gorgeous. I'd love to get more of this. But it's kind of metallic, the way the strand is. And it just kind of reminds me of that Picasso Rainbow, just the way the actual strand itself is structured. It's a little hairy. It's kind of like see how it has a little bit of a halo on it? But the structure of the strand itself kind of reminds you of that. Picasso rainbow. There's the shininess of it. But do you recognize this at all? Tell me in the comments. But anyway, so that's the haul from the that bin at Goodwill. I just couldn't believe all the nice yarns that were in here. And $8. I mean, it was crazy. And so I got it. And did I need it? Of course not. I don't need any of this yarn. But I got it because, you know, it was just a really good deal, really nice yarns and stuff, and I can make all kinds of things with it and dream about all the things that I can make with it, and I'm going to enjoy every single second. I've already enjoyed this yarn. I've already enjoyed buying it. I've already enjoyed going through it with my mom and going through it with you again on camera, and I've already enjoyed just touching it and feeling it and just like dreaming of all the things that I can make with it in my head. I mean, I just love yarn, and it's so much fun to get it and find it. And so even though I haven't even made anything with it, I've already enjoyed this yarn. But anyway, so that was like a really good deal. So got that. And then I'll talk about a couple other random things here at the end of this video. And then while I was in Goodwill, they had these Friends mugs. And like I've said in previous videos, I have an excessive a collection of like Friends mugs for one thing, but like themed mugs around like the TV shows and movies that I love. And but I do have an excessive amount of like Friends mugs. I guess they make a lot of Friends mugs because of the whole like Central Perk thing and coffee and like all that. So it's kind of a natural thing for them to make all kinds of Friends mugs. But this one is really cool. It's like that promotional picture where they recreated that famous picture where they're up on that metal beam on the top of the skyscraper. It's a really neat mug, and with the Friends logo on it. And this was $3.99, so I got that one. And then this one, these are is a brand new set. It's like two mugs in one. And so one of them says "How you doing?" and then the other one is "You're my lobster." And this was $4.99, but this is brand new. But they're really cool. This was. This came from Hobby Lobby, actually. This was $15.99 at Hobby Lobby, although it says Spring Shop 2022. And I know that their Spring Shop stuff goes on sale for it's ridiculous. I even know that. I see a label and think, oh, that's going to be 40% off, you know, every other week or whenever the hell it is. I know that their Spring Shop stuff does go on sale 40% off, like practically immediately when they get it in. And it's sort of like how when they get the Christmas stuff in, but it's like immediately like 50% off kind of thing. But you know, anyway, so it's $15.99, but I'm sure it was on sale for something back then. And but really cool mugs or whatever. They're taped together and everything because they're brand new. But I got that for $5. And technically, I did get, you know, a part. It wasn't technically $5. It was like a little bit off of each thing because of how they spread out the $5 thing. But in my head, I'm always going to feel like, you know, that $5 was taken off of the price of this thing of yarn, and all the rest of them I paid the regular price for. Just, you know, to make myself feel better. Whatever. It made me feel like I got a better deal than I actually did. Even though it was a hell of a deal. Even if it was $12.99, it would have been a hell of a deal. But whatever. And then they had this shelf, and they had another one. I got the other one another Goodwill trip, but I thought I have these shelves together. But I got this black shelf, and again, I didn't need to bring this damn thing in here. It was stupid. But it's just like one of these shelves. I always buy shelves like this, usually for physical media, you know, DVDs or whatever. And I don't know. I don't see myself using this for yarn, but I did buy this nice shelf. Yeah, $7.99 for this shelf, and so it's a really nice, sturdy shelf. It's one of those. It feels like the one from those ones from Walmart, you know, with like the things in the back. And I took the staple gun. Like I've said in videos before, like when you buy those cheap shelves from Walmart, like this big one that I bought here to replace those, you know, crappy plastic drawer things. When you buy those shelves, the structure, the main, I mean, there's screws and stuff, but the main structure that holds these shelves together and keeps them from collapsing is the cardboard backing of them. And what I like to do, they give you those teeny tiny little nails and stuff. They always end up collapsing, or the thing comes off, and you know they're cheap shelves. But what I like to do is I take a staple gun and I go along the my voice is changing. A staple gun. No, now my throat's just a little dry from you talking so damn much. Whatever. And so, but what I like to do is take the staple gun and go along the very edge, like all around that cardboard thing, just to add some extra stability. And these shelves become like extra sturdy. I mean, they may eventually come. They eventually come. God, I talk so fast, I'm creating compound words. It's so stupid. But they may eventually start to, you know, mess up like the shelves normally do because of how, you know, cheap these are. But it just adds some extra stability doing that with the staple gun. So I always do that. I didn't have to put this together, but I saw that it was one of those cardboard backed shelves, and I thought I'm going to go ahead and put the staples there just to make sure. And because I always do that. And so it's a really nice shelf for $8. I'm not. It's a really nice shelf, like a real macho or something. And I got a drill from Ollie's. Like I don't know, maybe this makes me feel really macho or whatever. I didn't even put this together, and I feel like, you know, and it's a nice shelf or whatever, like whatever. And so because I use my staple gun and God, I did get a drill from Ollie's, but let me show this other shelf first. But on this one of these DVD shelves. And this is only $5. It's like one of those wire shelves, and it's really tall and nice. And but the DVDs stack up here. And anytime, because I do have a lot of physical media and DVDs and stuff and Blu-rays, mainly DVDs. I mean, I like Blu-ray and HD and all that kind of stuff. But like, I grew up watching VHS tapes, so like DVD was always an upgrade. So there are movies where like I don't feel like I don't need to, you know, upgrade to the Blu-ray unless there's like extra special features. And this is like has nothing to do with whatever. This is like a total random thing. But I just feel like yeah, it's nice to get like watch something in HD, like if it has a lot of special effects or whatever. But like, unless there's like some new kind of special features or whatever, I don't need to like upgrade my, you know, copy of Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion to Blu-ray or whatever, unless they have like a special documentary on it or something, or what, you know what I'm saying. So I do have a lot of DVDs, and I just haven't upgraded a whole lot of them to Blu-ray. I do have some Blu-rays, but I don't have like an excessive amount of those like I do have like I have DVDs. Also because the DVDs are really cheap in pawn shops and stuff, although the Blu-rays are getting kind of cheap too, because they have so much physical media sometimes in my pawn shops that they want to like get rid of it, and so I have gotten some good deals on some Blu-rays too. But this is like mainly for DVDs. You can put Blu-rays in it, I guess you can. Just leave a little gap on the side, but a nice shelf for $5. I'm always looking for, you know, physical media shelves because, you know, I have a lot of it. And so I got that, and I'll show the freaking drill. But I went to Ollie's, you know, just looking to see what they had or whatever, and they had this drill, and it's like a power drill. You know, I got me one of these drills for myself. This was $30, and of course the next day I got a coupon in the mail from Ollie's, not because I bought this, but because, you know, it's just like some random thing. A coupon in the mail for like 15% off, you know, your total purchase at Ollie's. I felt like, God, I wish I would have gotten that thing the day before, so I could have gotten 15% off of this. It's worth it though. It was like $30 for this nice power drill, and it's gonna. Like, I've used these before, but it's not like, oh, because I built me it's like I used the drill to, like, you know, put together shelves for yarn or whatever, or like to hang up those pipes that system I created over the furnace hole to hang up our hang dry our clothes because I don't have a dryer. That's the kind of stuff that I use a power drill for. I'm not like, you know, building, you know, big industrial, like, you know some, you know, bro kind of thing, some dude thing like my brother would. And so but I always felt kind of bad, like, because I don't have a drill, or I mean I do now, but I mean I didn't have a drill, and so I don't. Whenever I have to, where I didn't want to like mess up my hand because I needed it for crochet, whenever I needed to like, screw a bunch of stuff in, I would always have to like call my brother and say, hey, little brother, can I borrow your drill to, like, you know, put together a shelf? And, you know, I probably didn't tell him what it was for because I needed to put yarn on it or like whatever, but whatever. I always felt kind of it's this awkward, stupid thing where, like, he's my little brother by 5 years, but like at the same time it's like, you know, I have to ask him if I need to borrow a freaking drill or whatever. It just makes you feel kind of stupid. I mean, he doesn't mind or whatever, but still, I always feel just kind of awkward, you know, asking for it. So I thought this is $30 at Ollie's and stuff. A really nice power drill. It has all the what was it? All the bits. I knew that the drill bits. Whatever. I don't even know what the hell the things are called. It has all the attachments and drill bits and all that kind of stuff, and the charger and the battery. Because like every time I go through, I'm starting to, you know, get I'm starting to get like a bunch of tools and stuff, but it's never like, oh, I'm gonna build a house. It's all, I was like, I'm gonna build a shelf to, you know, put a bunch of ridiculous stuff on. My little knickknacks and stuff that I buy, and you know, all my Lucy stuff, or, you know, Friends collection, my mugs from, you know, with Friends on it, or like Ren and Stimpy, or like, you know, like a bunch of ridiculous stuff. But I am starting to amass like a lot of little tools and stuff, and I mean a lot of big tools and stuff. I mean, I'm starting to amass like enough tools to where I'm probably gonna need like a toolbox sometime. It'd be kind of cool. I'm trying to think, like, I wonder what the little handle would look like, you know, if I crocheted a handle for my freaking ridiculous toolbox. Now, But I just never thought I would need a bunch of tools and stuff. But so I've always felt bad that I had to borrow my brother's. And so every time I see them at like Goodwill, they either are expensive or they don't have the charger or they don't have the battery. And I know that like you can walk through my pawn shops and they have like 50 drills there, but like none of them have the batteries, and like, because the battery is like the most important thing and the thing that costs the most. And so yeah, I'll get a drill, but I need to buy the battery, or it wouldn't have the drill bits or the screws or like whatever, or I mean, not screws, that's what you drill into the drill bits, the accessories, whatever. And so they never have all that kind of stuff when you go through a pawn shop. And so I saw this for $30 in Ollie's, and I thought, hell, I'll get it, because it's running, and I will use it. Maybe not for the things that like my brother would use his for, but I'm going to use it for a bunch of ridiculous stuff. Probably putting together shelves for all the yarn hauls that I get to put away, but whatever. And so I got that at Ollie's. And then on the trip that I went to Goodwill and I got that that other shelf, the DVD shelf, my mom got this, and I thought this was really pretty. She loves violets. Just a pretty little teapot with her favorite flower on it, so she got that. I think this was like $3. And then my mom, like I said, my mom loves The Lion King. I mean, I love Lion King too. But she loves the opening scene with all the animals and how they bow down to Simba and all that kind of stuff, and just the music. But she loves that scene in The Lion King, and so she's starting to collect like little. She loves the things that have like animals that remind her of like The Lion King, and where it's like the mother and the little baby. And so we found this in Goodwill too. This was $2.99, and it has these pretty zebras on it. And so she has like a very small collection of like a couple pictures and a couple little figurines like this of like animals that sort of remind you of The Lion King, and where it's like the mother and the baby, or the father and the baby. I don't know. I can't tell the gender of this zebra or whatever, but it's going to go with her pretty little collection. I need to take my drill and put together a shelf for my mom and for her animal collection. Like what I'll need to put a shelf up sometime with like all of her stuff like this, and like the pictures that we got in her little collection. But that was like the Goodwill stuff. And then the only other thing is the few things that I got at Hobby Lobby, and they didn't have any yarn, of course, because it wasn't the shipment day. No, they didn't have any yarn. But they did have a couple things in the clearance section, and they had these things. Like I said, by the time this video comes out, hopefully I've gotten this to my frame. But my best friend is into plants and stuff, and I already have a couple plant-related things that I got at Dollar General that I'm gonna they already have in a box ready to go. Whenever I fill up a box, I'm gonna send her a package sometime. And I found these in Hobby Lobby, and it says "So glad to call you a friend," and they look like those little things that you would put like in a garden, and it has like these flowers on it. And so I thought those were kind of pretty. I guess they were over there in the clearance. These were 93 cents because they were regular $3.79, and I guess because like the little chip there, it kind of goes with the aesthetic of like a garden, because things get chipped or whatever in the garden. This one is kind of chipped too. Like there are things that where people actually make them look like that. Like as many times as I've seen things in the store that look distressed, or like people buying pairs of jeans with like giant holes in them and stuff. Like it just looks like. I would never think that there was something wrong right here. I would think that they intentionally did that to make it look distressed or something. But they had two of them, so I thought I'll give them to my best friend, and I'm just going to put that with her package of stuff that is practically ready to go anyway. Like all those little K-pop figurines that I got at Goodwill, and a couple other things that I've gotten her over the past few months. But that'll be for her because she loves plants. And then they had just a couple of random Christmas things left in the clearance section. And they had this Christmas foil twine, and so it's like these little spools of twine, and they have like a metallic strand, and one's silver, one's gold, and one has this kind of a coppery red in it. And so it's pretty twine. I have used this for other things, not this brand, but like I've used this twine for things, and in my other crafts and stuff. But that was only 50 cents, which is a really good price for that. And then they had these, they're calling them buttons, but they're not really buttons in the traditional sense. I guess you could like glue them to something. But they look like little glittery gift boxes with the bows on the top. Hopefully you can see that. But they call them buttons, but see the back doesn't even have like a loop or a hole or nothing on it. So I don't know why they call them buttons, but I'll glue them to something. I just thought they were kind of pretty. And so it's just like an extra little thing that I found in the clearance section in Hobby Lobby. But anyway. But I guess that's going to be enough for this video. I know this video was really long, probably. I don't know what's going to look like in editing, but I just wanted to start off the video and you know, talk about how I wanted people to enjoy yarn and crocheting and stuff, and I just don't want you to feel bad about, you know, buying yarn. I mean, unless you actually have a serious problem, then you should you know, try to work on that and all that. But if you don't have a problem and it's not, you know, causing any stress or whatever, then just I just want people to enjoy yarn, and I want people to enjoy you know, crocheting and like, you know, and the fun we have in the comments, and you know, talking about you know, what you're making, and I don't know. I just want people to enjoy yarn as much as I do, because I love it. This whole experience is just added so much fun to my life or whatever, and it just gives you stuff to look forward to, and all the projects that, you know, I have in my head, like all the things that all the stuff I've already started that I need to finish, then all the stuff that I want to get to. There's already yarns that I can look at and I know exactly what I'm going to use it for. I just need to you know, do it. I don't know. That's why I just, you know, wanted to, you know, take a couple minutes, or probably 20 minutes to you know, to talk about how important it was to me to, you know, make sure that if you're watching these videos and you don't have a problem with, you know, buying yarn and stuff, and it's not becoming an issue for you, that, you know, I just want you to enjoy it, and don't, you know, feel like you should apologize for buying yarn or doing something that makes you happy. And because buying yarn is just so much fun, and crocheting with it, and actually taking like a big clump of yarn that's like basically just like a string, and then like turning into something beautiful. I mean, just that's like it's like magic. It's just amazing. And so I don't know. I want you to enjoy it. But whatever. I've already said it. Now I'm like repeating myself here at the end of the video. Like, it's not going to be long enough. Whatever. And so I did want to show that really good deal I got on that yarn and stuff, and all these random stuff. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. And I'll see you in the next one.